Hello and welcome to my channel for news about the Fact Gossip 24. Please follow and subscribe for more information. Alana, your friend, is me. Let's begin. Only bad news. 90-day fiancé's Julia Trubkina announces bittersweet news about ailing family member after celebrating major career success in US. Julia Trubkina from 90 Day. The Last Resort has been experiencing a tough time due to a family member suddenly taking ill after she launched her successful business in the US without Brandon Gibbs by her side. Julia came from a big city to live on a Virginia farm looking after animals. Julia managed to fit into the lifestyle just well and even adopted 2 dogs from Brandon's parents' farm. Julia became a dog trainer thanks to Ron Gibbs's help and even started her own subscription box business for dogs after several failed careers in the US. Julia shared a post with pictures of her with her dog Simba, where the first one showed her and Brandon posing with the German Shepherd. This week broke my heart into pieces. The doctors suggested putting Simba to sleep because they said that he would not live to see the second operation, Julia wrote in her caption. His legs stopped working, he stopped eating, he went to the toilet under himself, we lost sleep, but we refused, she added. Julia and Brandon carried Simba outside in their arms and helped him use the toilet and move his paws. However, they only heard bad news from the doctors. Miraculously, 2 days later, Simba started eating well, little by little, and is already learning to walk and play again. As per Julia, Simba is slowly gaining strength, so they can now perform his second operation on him. Julia wished to thank her fans for the warm messages and thousands of words of support that she'd received in the last few days. Julia was just celebrating the success of her new business when the bad news of Simba's health came her way. Julia had shared an update revealing she was going to sell cat products on the website as well, in addition to dog items. Julia seems to have been inspired by her own pets to launch her business. Considering how close she is to her dogs, Simba having a stroke suddenly troubled Julia. She even refused to comment on the tell-all, where her relationship with Brandon was discussed heavily this week. Julia was praying for Simba's health as he struggled to move on his own. She spent several sleepless nights tending to her son. He had to take a lot of pills after his first surgery. Julia had to force him to stand up, and Simba weighed 85 pounds. Critics wondered if Julia would start a GoFundMe to raise money for her dog's vet bills. However, Julia asked fans to support Simba by buying her subscription boxes instead. Julia never revealed whether Brandon was helping her out. However, her latest post about Simba clears all doubts about her and Brandon's relationship. Julia wouldn't have kept her picture with Simba and Brandon as the cover photo of her album if Brandon wouldn't have helped her with Simba. Julia and Brandon are still together, but she somehow keeps her captions ambiguous to make it look like they are having marriage problems. The 90-Day Fiancé star had stopped posting about Brandon completely during filming 90 Day, the last resort to create curiosity about their relationship. However, in a situation like this, where their pet needed their love and care, Julia couldn't help but post about her husband. It was supposed to be a time of celebration for 90-Day Fiancé alum Julia Trubkina. The vibrant, fiery Russian star, known for her sharp wit and contagious smile, recently achieved a major career milestone in the US after years of hustling through odd jobs and reality TV fame. Julia proudly announced she had finally secured a dream opportunity in the fitness industry, opening her very own dance and fitness studio. Fans flooded her social media with congratulatory messages. Julia, who first captured viewers' hearts alongside her husband Brandon Gibbs, had always spoken about her love for dancing, fitness, and living life on her own terms. Dreams do come true if you're willing to fight for them, she wrote in a heartfelt Instagram post, posing in front of her new studio with an infectious grin. For many, it seemed like Julia was finally stepping into a well-deserved chapter of peace and prosperity. But as often happens in life, and frequently on 90-Day Fiancé, good news is sometimes shadowed by heartache. Just days after her big career announcement, Julia shared some devastating family news that left fans feeling both heartbroken and inspired by her resilience. In a bittersweet video, she revealed that a beloved family member in Russia had fallen seriously ill. "I didn't want to talk about this because it's only bad news," Julia admitted, tears filling her eyes. "While everything is going so well for me here, My heart is breaking because someone I love so much is suffering so far away. Julia didn't name the relative, respecting their privacy, but hinted that it was someone who had played a huge role in raising her. Her emotional post described the difficulty of being so far from family during critical moments, a struggle many immigrants can painfully relate to. It's like living in two different worlds. Here I have success, happiness, and new opportunities, but back home there's only bad news and I can't be there to help. She spoke about the guilt she feels balancing her personal happiness with the helplessness of watching a loved one suffer from afar. Julia also shared how the experience had reshaped her priorities. This reminds me not to take anything for granted. Even in my happiest moments, part of my heart will always be back home. Fans and fellow 90-Day Fiancé cast members quickly rallied around her, offering prayers, messages of support, and words of encouragement. Many praised Julia for her honesty, showing that life isn't always picture-perfect behind the filters and highlights. Julia ended her post by saying she hopes to visit Russia soon to be with her family, though travel restrictions and personal responsibilities complicate the situation. For now, she's focusing on building her dream while holding her loved one close in her heart. I've learned life will never be just good or just bad, she wrote. It's always both, and we keep going.